EastEnders Ross Marshall finds himself in a serious predicament next week after discovering that his son Joel was behind a shocking assault on Vicki Fowler. As the community reels from the disturbing event, Ross is forced to decide where his loyalties truly lie. Troubled teen Joel's toxic behaviour hits a breaking point in a special episode airing this Thursday, focusing on a tense altercation between him and Tommy Moon at school. When things spiral out of control and anxious parents struggle to handle their son's destructive attitudes, Joel turns violent, lashing out at his father's partner, Vicky. The sudden explosion of anger brings devastating consequences, leaving the fractured family to deal with the fallout and an uncertain path ahead. Ross and Vicky are left divided after clashing over Joel's behaviour at school, actions that landed both him and Tommy in deep trouble and stirred major gossip around Albert Square. After attacking Vicky for confronting him about his sexist views, Joel retreats into hiding, desperate to keep his secret under wraps. Seeking refuge, he turns to his closest friend Tommy, who reluctantly agrees to let him stay hidden in the Slater's garage until things calm down. But Zoe Slater quickly grows suspicious, sensing that her brother is hiding something and tries to get the truth out of him, though Tommy stubbornly protects his mate. How long can Joel stay hidden from justice? It isn't long before word spreads about Vicky's attack, and whispers begin to circulate naming Joel as the culprit. Given his pattern of hostile behaviour and offensive comments towards several women in the area, it doesn't take long for the truth about Joel's actions to emerge. When Ross overhears the locals accusing Joel of hurting Vicky, he's left horrified, yet refuses to believe that his own son could be responsible. Panicked for Vicky's safety, Ross rushes to the hospital, breathing a sigh of relief when doctors assure him that she'll recover. However, things grow tense between Ross and Vicky as they discuss Joel's involvement, and she's soon left reeling by a shocking new twist in the case. Will Vicky come clean to Ross about Joel's violent attack and force him to finally confront the darkness within his son? EastEnders fans divided over Ben Mitchell's return as Callum Highway affair not working. Ben made his comeback to the BBC soap alongside Callum's brother, Stuart Highway. EastEnders viewers have been left split over Ben Mitchell's latest return, with many arguing that Callum Highway's affair storyline just isn't convincing. It was confirmed earlier this summer that actor Max Bowden would reprise his role briefly, returning to attend the funeral of Callum's father, John O'Highway. While Ben has been serving time in the US for tax evasion, Callum and Johnny Carter have been growing closer, their connection turning into a full-blown affair over the past few months. Last month saw the pair confronted with Jono's shocking reappearance, more than 5 years after he cut Callum out of his life for being in a relationship with Ben. Johnny was by Jono's side during his final moments, later misleading Callum by claiming Jono had asked for forgiveness before he died. The emotional moment pushed the two men to admit their feelings and share a heartfelt kiss. In Monday's episode, October 6, Kathy Beale gathered the Mitchell family together to support Callum during his father's funeral. Although Callum initially urged Johnny to stay away from the service to avoid raising eyebrows, their secret was exposed when Ben's mother, Kathy, caught them sharing a kiss. Later at the cafe, Kathy told the rest of the Mitchells what she had seen, leaving them furious. Phil, Billy, Honey, Ian and Harvey joined Kathy in confronting Callum over his betrayal. Refusing to back down, Callum fired back at the Mitchells, calling them hypocrites, before storming off to find Johnny and telling him he was ready to make their relationship public, even at the funeral. The first familiar face to show up was Stuart Highway, played by Ricky Champ, who was convinced by the Mitchells to keep quiet about the affair until after the service, giving Callum time to tell Ben himself. Despite viewers anticipating the moment, Callum was left frozen in shock when a car pulled up and Ben stepped out, smirking as he quipped that he wouldn't miss a good funeral. Following the dramatic episode, fans flocked to X, formerly Twitter, to share their mixed feelings, debating whether Callum's affair could ever be justified now that Ben is back in Walford. EastEnders reveals hostage horror for Harry in twisted revenge scheme. Oki takes charge. EastEnders' Harry Mitchell faces a terrifying week ahead as he finds himself kidnapped and held hostage by ruthless criminals Ravi Gulati and Oki Okiere. The young mechanic has angered his dangerous bosses after they uncover his shocking betrayal. Can anyone rescue Harry before it's too late? Harry's starting to regret ever getting mixed up with this gang, an insider from EastEnders reveals. He only ever wanted to protect his friend Kojo from sinking too far into the drug world, but now Harry's the one whose life is hanging by a thread. His decision to double-cross Oki and Ravi is about to cost him dearly. After days without a trace of Harry, Teddy begins to panic about his son's disappearance. George, however, brushes off the concern, insisting that Harry is simply away on a garage job with Kojo. Eventually, Harry rings his father to assure him he's fine, easing Teddy's fears. But on the other end of the line, the truth is far darker. Harry is far from safe. Ravi and Oki are holding Harry prisoner, the source continues. They discovered a secret recording device hidden in Kojo's flat and forced Harry to call home while demanding to know where the footage was being sent. Terrified for his life, Harry confesses that the camera is linked to his laptop. But will that confession be enough to spare him? Still seething over Harry's betrayal, Oki locks him away and goes searching for the laptop himself. During his hunt, he runs into Harry's girlfriend Gina, who's frustrated and confused about her boyfriend's sudden disappearance. Seizing the opportunity for revenge, Oki begins to flirt with her, plotting an even crueler twist. Meanwhile, Ravi decides to whisk Avani away for a spontaneous getaway, leaving Oki in command. Before departing, Ravi instructs him to let Harry go, but Oki has no plans to follow orders. Oki enjoys having power for once, the insider explains. He refuses to release Harry and keeps him imprisoned while he sets his sights on Gina. Knowing Harry can't stop him, he taunts him by describing his intentions. Heartbroken and powerless, Harry turns to drugs to cope with the pain and fear. Will trapped Harry be able to escape before the darkness consumes him? Or will his desperate attempt to cope lead him down a dangerous path of addiction? Haunted by guilt and isolated from the world, Harry's mental state begins to unravel. With no one to turn to and no hope of rescue, he starts to rely on drugs to block out the fear, unaware that every dose drags him further into Oki's sinister game. Meanwhile, Gina's heartbreak leaves her vulnerable to manipulation. As Oki plays the role of the charming confidant, she finds herself drawn in by his false concern, unaware of his cruel intentions. Could she soon become the next pawn in Oki's brutal revenge plot? Back in Walford, Teddy and George begin to suspect that something isn't right. Kojo's nervous behaviour raises more questions, and whispers start to spread about Harry's disappearance. With each passing day, the truth edges closer to the surface, but will it come out before tragedy strikes? One thing's certain, the Mitchells are about to face one of their darkest chapters yet. As lies, betrayal, and obsession collide, the fallout could tear their family apart forever. EastEnders airs Monday to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One, with episodes streaming early from 6 a.m. on BBC iPlayer.